Ladies and gentlemen, a boy is born into the world with no idea of who he is or where he's headed. His arrival is pure chance shaped by circumstances beyond his control, his family, his environment, the time and place he's born into. When he takes his first breath, the journey of becoming a man hasn't even started yet. That first cry, that first glance, it's all instinct. It's raw. It's automatic. But becoming a man, that's something different. Becoming a man is not just a matter of growing older. It's about understanding the power of choice, realizing that the road you walk isn't set by your birth, but by the decisions you make along the way. A boy can stay a boy his entire life if he chooses to. It's easy to blame circumstances, say that you are the way you are because of where you came from or what happened to you. But manhood comes when you stop looking outside for answers and start looking within. The shift from boyhood to manhood doesn't happen because of age or time. It happens because you take responsibility for your own life. It happens when you stop expecting the world to hand you things and start creating your own opportunities. A boy is passive, letting life happen to him. A man is active, making life happen for him. This process of becoming takes time, and it's never a straight path. It's filled with lessons learned the hard way, with moments that exist in the world. He shapes it, and in doing so, he shapes himself. Pain has a way of showing up in life when you least expect it, often catching you off guard, shaking you to your core. But what people don't realize is that pain, in all its forms, holds within it lessons you cannot learn any other way. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be understood. Pain doesn't just hurt, it transforms. When you experience real hurt, when your world is turned upside down, that's when your true character begins to form. It's easy to coast through life when everything is going well. It's in the comfort, the ease, that you might not grow much. But it's the moments of real hardship that test you, that push you to dig deeper into yourself than you ever thought possible. In pain, you find parts of your strength you never knew existed. It's in that moment when you feel like you can't go any further that you realize your resilience, the ability to stand back up, to fight, to keep moving even when every ounce of you wants to quit. When life knocks you down, it's easy to feel like it's the end. But the truth is, it's often the beginning of something new. Pain doesn't just show you what you're made of, it shows you what you're capable of. It strips away all the distractions, all the things you think define you, and forces you to focus on what really matters. Your will, your heart, your drive to keep going. It forces you to get real with yourself, to confront your fears and doubts, to face the parts of you that you'd rather ignore. What pain also teaches you is perspective. It helps you appreciate the good times more, but it also makes you less afraid of the bad. You start to see setbacks not as signs of defeat, but as opportunities to grow. Pain teaches you to redefine your limits, to stretch beyond what you thought possible. You learn that even in your lowest moments, there's a part of you that is unbreakable, a part of you that refuses to give in. So while no one ever asked for pain and no one would wish for it, it's important to understand that it's not something to run from. It's something to embrace, because it's through pain that we evolve, that we become the men we are meant to be. Disrespect isn't something you can avoid. It comes in many forms, from the quiet dismissal to the outright insult, from people who misunderstand you to those who try to belittle your worth. It's an inevitable part of life. But here's the truth: how you respond to disrespect says more about you than anything else. It reveals who you are, not just in that moment, but in the long run. When someone disrespects you, it can trigger anger, frustration, or even self-doubt. You want to defend yourself to prove that you're worthy of respect. And while that's a natural reaction, the true test comes in how you handle it when your first instinct is to react. The real strength is in how you choose to respond. In the face of disrespect, you have two options: to stoop to the level of the disrespectful person, or to rise above it to maintain your dignity and self-respect regardless of how others treat you. The way you carry yourself when others try to undermine you shows your strength of character. You see, respect is something you don't need to demand from others. You can earn it by holding your own, by not lowering your standards or compromising your integrity when faced with negativity. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to let anyone's opinion or behavior alter that. It's about standing firm in your beliefs and not being swayed by the judgments of others. Disrespect often comes from insecurity, from people who feel threatened or inadequate, who try to build themselves up by tearing others down. When you recognize that, it becomes easier to not take it personally. It's not about you, it's about them. But that doesn't mean you let it slide without action. You don't have to fight back in anger, but you can choose to demonstrate your worth through your actions, through your ability to stay calm, collected, and focused. Hey, the more composed you are, the more you prove that you aren't defined by what others think of you. In the face of disrespect, a man shows what he's truly made of. He doesn't let the words or actions of others dictate how he sees himself or how he acts. Instead, he uses those moments to reinforce his own values, to remind himself of his worth. It's a test of patience, wisdom, and emotional control qualities that separate the boy from the man. By choosing to respond with grace and integrity, you not only protect your peace, but you elevate your character. Disrespect is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity to show who you really are. Rejection is one of the hardest experiences to face, yet it is an inevitable part of life. It feels like a door slamming in your face, as though the world is telling you that you're not good enough or that your efforts were all for nothing. But in truth, rejection is not a final judgment. It's a redirection, a signal that what you thought you wanted or deserved might not be what's best for you. Every time you're turned away, it's the universe telling you that you're on the wrong path or that there's something better ahead. At the moment, rejection can feel like a personal attack, leaving you questioning your worth and your abilities. But it's important to understand that rejection isn't about your value as a person. It's not a reflection of who you are. It's simply a part of the process of finding your way in the world. It teaches you that not every door is meant for you to open, not every opportunity is meant to be yours. And that's okay. The world is vast, and so are the possibilities. One rejection doesn't mean the end, it means the beginning of something else. What rejection forces you to do is to reconsider, to regroup, and to redefine your approach. It challenges you to get clearer on what you truly want and to find new, more aligned paths toward that goal. It's a reminder that you can't always control the outcome, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to stay down after being rejected, or you can pick yourself up, reassess, and move forward with even more determination. Every rejection carries with it a lesson, whether it's about resilience, adaptability, or self-reflection. The key is not to take it as a sign of failure, but as an invitation to grow, to evolve. Rejection reveals the areas where you may need to improve, but it also opens up the space for new opportunities that better suit your skills, your desires, and your potential. It's not just a setback, it's a stepping stone, a moment in time that pushes you towards something greater. Every time you get rejected and keep going, you build a little more strength, a little more wisdom, a little more faith in yourself. In the end, rejection is a powerful teacher. It teaches you resilience, humility, and the importance of persistence. It helps you see that setbacks don't define you, how you respond to them does. With each rejection, you get closer to the person you're meant to be, because it's not the rejections that determine your future, but the decisions you make in response to them. Keep moving forward, because rejection is just the world's way of pushing you toward a better path. Failure is something everyone fears, yet it's an experience that all of us will encounter. In the moment, it can feel devastating, like you've hit a wall that you can't break through, like all your hard work has been in vain. It's easy to think that failure means you've reached the end of the line, that the dream or the goal you were chasing is out of reach. But failure is not a dead end, it's a detour. It's not a conclusion, but rather a new beginning in disguise. When you fail, you often feel like you've been knocked off course, like the path you were following has become untraversable. But what failure does is teach you lessons that you can't learn any other way. It shows you where you might be going wrong, what you need to adjust, and what you need to do differently next time. Far from being a sign that you're not meant for success, failure is the world's way of fine-tuning you, of preparing you for what's next. It's a necessary part of the journey, not a roadblock. The beauty of failure is that it strips away illusions. It takes away the idea that success comes easily, that things should just fall into place. It forces you to confront the reality that growth comes from struggle, from overcoming obstacles, and from learning how to push through even when it seems impossible. With every failure, you gain new knowledge and insight, not just about your goals, but about yourself. You learn your limits and your strengths, and you realize that it's not the failure itself that matters, it's how you rise from it, how you use it to fuel your next move. In fact, failure often helps you recalibrate. It clears away distractions, makes you focus on what really matters, and forces you to ask tough questions about your approach, your work ethic, and your mindset. It reveals your true determination. It shows you whether you're willing to fight harder, to think smarter, and to adapt. It challenges you to develop resilience to keep moving forward even when the outcome isn't guaranteed, even when the road is tough. The real measure of a person's potential isn't how many times they fail, but how many times they're willing to try again. Every failure builds character, persistence, and grit. It's the process of failing, learning, and improving that leads to greatness. So, don't fear failure. Embrace it, because it's not the end of the road, it's the very thing that helps you get where you're supposed to go. Loss is one of the most painful experiences any person can face. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, an opportunity, or something you worked hard for, it can feel like a part of you has been torn away, leaving a void that seems impossible to fill. In those moments, it's easy to believe that loss has stolen everything from you, that you'll never be the same again. But in reality, loss is not a taker, it's a teacher, one that offers wisdom and growth in ways you might not see immediately. When you lose something or someone important to you, the world as you know it shifts. The ground beneath your feet may feel unstable, and it may seem like everything is falling apart. But this is exactly where the lesson begins. Loss forces you to confront the most vulnerable parts of yourself, the parts that try to protect, the parts you avoid looking at. It makes you face the truth that nothing is permanent, that everything can change in an instant. And in that rawness, you are given the chance to rebuild, to redefine who you are in the face of hardship. One of the hardest lessons loss teaches is the importance of letting go. Whether it's a dream that didn't come to fruition, a relationship that has ended, or a piece of your life that's been ripped away, you're faced with the choice of whether to hold on to the past or move forward. Holding on can keep you stuck in grief and regret, but loss teaches you that moving forward is not forgetting, it's about honoring what you had while allowing space for new possibilities. It's about accepting that what you've lost doesn't define you, and that you have the power to create something new, something even greater than what you thought was taken away. Loss also reveals the things that truly matter. When something significant is gone, you begin to see what you still have left, the people who stand by you, the strengths you never realized you had, the lessons learned through the pain. It teaches you to appreciate the present moment, to cherish what you still have, and to recognize that what really counts is often hidden in the quiet moments that you might have taken for granted before. In losing something, you are given a unique opportunity to grow in ways that you never could without the pain. It's a process of rebuilding your identity, your purpose, and your perspective. Loss sharpens your resilience, teaching you to rise again, to embrace the lessons hidden in the depths of sorrow, and to keep moving forward despite the setbacks. Loss doesn't diminish you, it refines you. It strips away the superficials you and forces you to a life that is more grounded, more authentic, and more in tune with what truly matters. It's through these challenging moments that you learn how strong you are, how capable of adapting you can be, and how even after you feel broken, you can piece yourself back together into something even stronger. In the end, loss isn't something you simply survive. It's something you learn from. And in that learning, you gain a deeper understanding of who you are and what it means to truly live. The pain fades, but the wisdom it leaves behind is what endures, guiding you through every new chapter of your life. Life, in all its complexity and unpredictability, isn't something that's simply handed to us. It's something we create, we shape, and we craft through the choices we make and the struggles we face. A boy enters the world with no idea of who he will become, but through pain, rejection, failure, disrespect, and loss, he's given the raw materials to shape himself into the man he's destined to be. These aren't obstacles meant to break him. They're challenges meant to mold him. A boy may be born, but a man is made. A man isn't defined by his circumstance, by the hand he's been dealt, or by the label society tries to put on him. He's defined by how he responds to life's hardest moments, to the knocks and bruises, to the moments that make him question everything. A man doesn't wait for life to be easy. He understands that the hard times are where the real growth happens. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about learning how to endure it, to rise stronger, to use it as fuel to keep moving forward. Pain, in all its forms, becomes the greatest teacher. It teaches you not just to survive, but to thrive, to develop an inner resilience that no one can take away. Pain teaches you to embrace the struggle, to see it not as a hindrance, but as the very thing that sharpens your focus, that strengthens your spirit, and that reveals your capacity for greatness. When you are tested by pain, you are being given the opportunity to build your character, to stretch beyond what you thought was possible, and to become the kind of man who doesn't crumble in the face of adversity, but stands tall, unwavering, and ready to take on whatever comes next. And then there's the disrespect you'll face. Life will challenge you, push you, try to break you down with the words, attitudes, and judgments of others. People will disrespect you, question your worth, and try to diminish your value. But it's in those moments that you're given a chance to show the world who you really are. How you respond to disrespect will determine the measure of your strength, your grace, and your resolve. A boy may lash out, but a man rises above, choosing dignity and self-respect over anger. A man understands that others' opinions don't define his worth. He knows who he is, and he doesn't let anyone's negativity change that. In fact, disrespect only fuels his determination to move forward with integrity. Rejection, too, is something we all face. It's not something you can avoid, and it's not something you can control. People will reject you. Opportunities will slip through your fingers, and at times it may feel like you're not getting the breaks you deserve. But rejection is not the end. It's the beginning of something better. It's a chance to take a step back, recess, and figure out what's truly meant for you. Rejection doesn't mean you're not enough. It means that the world is pushing you towards something more aligned, and that your path will reveal itself even if it doesn't happen when you expect it. Failure, too, is part of the journey. Everyone will fail. It's not a matter of if, but when. Failure feels like the end of the road, like a final verdict on your abilities. But failure isn't final, it's formative. Failure is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It's where you learn the most about yourself, where you refine your skills, and where you discover just how badly you want something. Failure teaches you that success isn't about never falling, it's about getting up every single time, dusting yourself off, and pressing on with even more determination. Failure doesn't stop you from being great. It propels you to greatness. It is the great equalizer, the moment when you decide whether you will let the setbacks define you, or whether you will use them as stepping stones to your success. Finally, loss is the ultimate teacher. When something or someone important to you is taken away, it feels as though the very ground beneath you has been pulled out from under your feet. The pain of loss is unlike any other. It shakes you to your core, leaving you feeling vulnerable, exposed, and broken. But in loss, there's a powerful lesson. Loss teaches you what really matters. It strips away the superficial, the distractions, and forces you to see what's truly important in life: love, connection, purpose, and inner strength. Loss teaches you the power of resilience, of rebuilding yourself from the ground up, of learning to stand tall again even when you feel broken. It's through loss that you learn how to truly appreciate what you had, how to cherish every moment, and how to rebuild your life with a deeper understanding of your own strength and capacity for growth. So while life may hand you pain, disrespect, rejection, failure, and loss, remember this: these are not your enemies. These are the very things that will forge you into the man you are meant to be. Every test you face is an opportunity to grow, to become more than you were before. Every hardship is a chance to develop the resilience, wisdom, and strength needed to rise higher. A boy may be born, but a man is made by how he faces these challenges, how he learns from them, and how he uses them to fuel his journey forward. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond, by how you rise when you fall, by how you continue to move forward when the road seems too hard. So embrace the struggles, because they are shaping you into someone capable of more than you ever imagined. You are being made not by your victories, but by how you face defeat. Keep going. Keep growing. And remember, it's not the setbacks that define you, it's the strength you find to keep moving forward that truly matters. Thank you.